Hey guys, it's Jedi's Point of View, and we're back again for some more Book of the Sith readings. And I'm just going to jump right into it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the double upload today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And let's just read this book, shall we? Alright, so let's just crack this book open and get my Mary Sue bookmark out of the way here. So this is the continuation of the Book of the Sith. This is some sources, sin entries. He's the first Sith to have held this book. This is Exile Year 1, Months 3 to 4. Exile and Arrival. So I am not Sith. I do not share their blood. Yet in the same time since we arrived among these savage people, we have become their rulers. For the Force strong must ever seek power. We have adopted their titles, their dress, and their traditions. We are no longer Jedi expelled from the Republic's smothering embrace. We are the Jedi. That means you're basically Jedi. Lords of the Sith. We arrived here after the 100-year war that nearly toppled their Jedi Order. The Jedi, so confident in their triumph, did not execute us. With lightsaber points at our backs, they marched us aboard the galleon that would take us into exile outside the Republic's borders. So that's a short page. We'll just get right into the next one here. There were 12 of us, including several ranking commanders. High General Ajunta Paul, Marchionus Zozan, Commander of the Black Legion's Baron Drapa, our fleet's sole remaining Admiral Karnus Moore, whose Force-centered battle tactics had saved us from the trap of Fluwaka, and I, Sorcerer Sin, grower of living weapons and biological plagues. Other less distinguished Dark Jedi were prominent within our company only because they had not perished in the war. The war had raged for a century between the Jedi Council, with its petrified orthodoxy, and those who wished to topple it. As the last survivors of those who sought a new path to power, we ultimately fell victim to the military excess of the Jedi at the rout of Corbus. Our punishment for high treason was to be banished into uncharted space, but our flight into the unknown was not without direction. For years I extracted information from refugees and catalogued rumors, searching for proof that the kingdom of Sith purebloods existed. My beliefs have been vindicated. What lies before us is a limitless pool of steadfast warriors and an untapped wealth of knowledge about the dark side of the Force. I just imagine that's how Sorcerer Sin would probably read a book to himself. But there they are right there, and there is one of the Sith people repping it. They're ruling over them. I love the artwork in this book, by the way. So we're going to cover the first great schism. We rule the Sith. Here we will build the sovereignty of the dark side to overcome millennia of injustice. But I am the rightful ruler, for I alone possess the curiosity to translate their secrets and apply them to larger patterns of conquest. I foresee that what will become a magnificent Sith empire. I mean, technically he was right, because all of his actions led to Palpatine creating the Empire. Anyways, where was I? Well, Corbus was the last battle of the 100-Year Darkness. The conflict began with the most recent Great Schism. Historians squabble over how many such splits have occurred within Jedi ranks. I care not for the exact number, but with each one, the Jedi Council's stranglehold on the ways of the Force weakened. The 100-Year Darkness was a spectacular yet predictable revolt against Jedi complacency. The Jedi Order has not evolved in nearly 20 millennia. Even after the Order's founding on Tython, its most curious members realized the failings of their teachers, and so began the First Great Schism. And there's some pretty cool epic art in the bottoms of each page there, if it'll focus. Bang, bang. So that is the charge of the Black Legions at the Battle of Corbus. And then we go over to the next page here, and it says, in those days, a Kashimir outsider named Zendor inspired several Jedi to question the light side, or Ashla. They discovered the use of the dark side, or Bogan, unlocked the shackles their Jedi masters had placed on the Force. Zendor's followers, those who believed as he did but lacked his abilities, became his acolytes, or the Legions of Leto. Mace underlined that point there, and he says, the dark side is not more powerful. It burns bright, but quickly burns out. Very accurate. Of course the Jedi fought. They fought with desperation against a future in which they had no followers. History says that Zendor and his legions perished in the Battle of Columbus. But that was not the tragedy of the First Great Schism. The tragedy was that the Jedi learned nothing. they could have embraced the dark side and become the central power of the empire that the legions of Leto sought to build. Instead, they returned to their antiquated ways and alienated their most gifted members. We exiles are the heirs of Zendor's bold heresy. And then that's Zendor and the legions of Leto defy the Jedi of On Columbus. Yoda commented here and he says, compromise with the dark side. Defeat it is. Vigilant, the Jedi must remain. So Yoda knows there's still a threat out there. And then this is my thumbnail here, the 100-Year Darkness. I don't know what that beast is. Hopefully it tells me here. The war in which we fought, and in which many of our followers died, could have been prevented. It was the Jedi who took up arms to keep us from revealing the truth about the Force. They had been paddling in the shadows for eons. By boldly venturing into the Force's expanse, we gained powers that no Jedi had ever possessed. Life itself was at our command. It was I who grew the Leviathans, who splintered the Jedi barricades at Belmora. I gave them the ability to swallow spirits and to store those life energies in skin blisters. The Leviathans, my exquisite monsters, were the final culmination of the Shamblers, the Howlers, the Pit Horrors, and all the other spawn I'd given shape and purpose to my purpose. The Jedi shunned this power, as they have resisted every improvement. They caused the schism in their own ranks. Until we annihilate the old order, the pattern will continue repeating forever. And then Mace comments below here, he says, the Sith perversion of living things violates the very essence of the Force. Life creates it, allows us to tap its potential. We obey it, will not the other way around. We obey its will, not the other way around. We are parts of the organism, not its breeders. In the end, we are living beings too. Unbearable it is to be a creature thus changed. To end their lives, mercy it sometimes is, Yoda says. So even Yoda sees that to slay an animal such as this grandeur, it's giving it mercy because it is living for no purpose at all. It has been created by somebody full of dark side energy. So we're moving on to the proud people of the Sith. So, I guided our creaking galleon through the hyperspace breakwater known as Stygian Caldera, which could not have been accomplished without command of the Force. For this reason, navigators have found no true routes into Sith space, only blind jumps. Those who are strong with the dark side, like myself, can sense the way, as a Devlicki can sense magnetic north, whatever that is, probably like a magnet, or like a compass, whatever. We touch down on Korriban, the world that screams the loudest for those who can hear the dark side's voice. Sidious comments and goes, Korriban has lost potency over the last 7,000 years, but it still whispers of dark secrets. It is on Korriban that the Sith purebloods began. It is here that they often return in death. I don't know why I just turned English there for a sec. We stepped out of the cramped reek of our interstellar prison into the light of the unfamiliar sun. Grand tombs carved from the planet's stone surrounded us. The sand was littered with the bones of 1,000 kings. So this is the Valley of the Sleeping Kings on Korriban. If you ever played the game SWTOR, that is an epic planet. It's the starting planet of the Sith. It's very cool. Definitely recommend playing that game. The Sith greeted us. Despite our obvious superior powers, we were not hailed as gods when we arrived. It took weeks for us to understand the power structure of their culture, to undermine it, and to annihilate the current king. Ajuntapal beheaded their ruler, Hakagram Grosh, and claimed the throne as blood heir to the ancestral king Adas, and we became his shadow hands. Ajuntapal beheads the king, right there. From that time on, I made it my goal to understand the Sith space, and the treasures that might await us in this realm. Drapa's fleet experience at last proved useful as the two of us mapped the local hyperlanes. Would that he had shown such competence in defending Corbus, so he's still mad about losing that fight against the Jedi, obviously. Our work identified the looping hyperspace lanes within the Signia Caldera that contains the planets of the Sith Empire. The Nach Belfia, whatever that word is, Belfia, Belfia route, links Zeost, Zardelba, Relg, and Cryasis, and Korriban, the 5 worlds most sacred to the Sith. Zeost has been the throne world of the Sith purebloods since prehistory. It is where we erected our own palaces to rule as Sith lords. The Sith respect power. They are content to serve us. So that's Zeost right there, Zeost. And Mace leaves a comment. Could the Sith defeated by Obi-Wan on Naboo have come from here? Send a knight to investigate. Quinlan Voss, maybe? I love it. They're still clueless. In fact, the Sith purebloods are marvels. They are people driven by hunger, rage, and the dark side. Though they are humanoid in form, their hides spawn hues from crimson to obsidian, and their hands and feet are clawed. 2 thick, fleshy tendrils dangle from their cheeks or jaws, and 2 more tendrils protrude from their temples. A Sith pureblood. Right there is an example. After much experimentation, I have concluded that their blood is sufficiently similar to our own to permit alchemical crossbreeding. Damn. I know Drepia, for one, has had his eye on Sith priestesses. He will be pleased to learn his bloodline will not only persist but thrive. The Sith purebloods are strong in the Force, but they do not outmatch us. They are rooted in primitivism. There you go. While we were once the Republic's greatest Jedi, they have discovered many secrets, some unknown to any other beings in the galaxy. But their unshakable caste structure instills obedience and purpose, which serve us well as their overlords. Mace says, interesting. We don't know if this was cataclysm or the crossbreeding mentioned here, but no trace of the Sith species remains in the galaxy. And on to the last page of Ancient Sith History. There's some more cool art there for you. That's a dark Jedi there, and then it goes on and on and on. All the people that used the dark side of the Force at that time. So those of us who come to this world with rank and ambition make up Zeos' new Sith Council. Ajunta Paul is our Dark Lord, or Janari. Force willing, his reign will be short. We are served by their priests, the Kisai, who have come to worship us as demigods. They regard Ajunta Paul as the manifestation of Typhoium, the left-handed god, and are thus easily persuaded to do our bidding. Nice. Their engineers, the Zugaruk, are loyal, but they build far too many burial mounds and few battleships. I must convince Paul of the need to redirect the laborers of his title must be taken by force. Or his title must be taken by force. There you go. Our greatest asset is their warriors, the Masasi, who are nothing more than brute muscle animated by consciousness. They are expendable, yet we must breed more if we are to strike back against the Republic, which has shunned and humiliated us. The slaves, a rabble of mixed species, are collected scorned with the effetit Grothu. After experiencing the artifice of the Republic's slavery bans, it's refreshing to see the weakness of inferiors affirmed and exploited for gain. Yoda leaves a comment, everything the dark side clouds, uncover the truth we must. So that is the chain of power there. Those are all those beings that I just explained. There's the priest, the Kasasi, and then the freaking Rasas, or the Masasi. They're all basically just Masasis. And that's where I'm going to end it today. In the next chapter, it covers Sith weapons and a couple more things. This is probably the most lengthy entry of the Book of the Sith. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and may the Force be with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.